Literally speaking, Battle Royale is a film about a government program that forces middle school students to fight to the death for nebulous disciplinary reasons. It is boldly and purposefully ridiculous. For a film with a reputation as a more brutal piece of genre fiction, I was surprised by how digestible it was. The protagonist Shuya is an innocent and likable orphan who draws comparisons to the leads of children's films. The antagonist Kitano is a former teacher and a disgruntled unjust authority that Shuya and his friends must topple. The score is heavy in cor anglais, string flutters, and other orchestral cues that reinforce emotional moments in an easy-to-follow way. For all its conceptual challenge, it is hard to become invested in a subject like government-mandated child abuse. Battle Royale otherwise makes a strong effort to be watchable. Much of the film's elements, violence or otherwise, are driven by genuine, heartfelt character drama, but the buck stops short of literary excellence. The less time a character spends on screen, the more likely they'll fall victim to an unexplained violent hysteria. With so many characters, I understand that this may be more of a limitation of the film format, but breakdowns in trust nevertheless occur so abruptly that they lack impact. Those characters that we do spend significant time with are mostly well-developed subversions of saccharine sweet adolescent drama tropes. What do two childhood best friends do when only one can live? How does the painfully shy girl express herself in a game of death? How does the scholastically driven student approach this challenge? How does a popular athletic girl dispense with her would-be suitors? Battle Royale's questions and answers are infinitely more interesting than any scenario within William Golding's unsympathetic indictment of British boys, The Lord of the Flies. For the most part, these characters manage to be humorous without dispelling tension. When Battle Royale stops asking questions, instead leaning on the same pool of dramatic tropes that it satirizes, it begins to fail. The boys, for the most part, are the honest ones. They either build things, inspiring collective action against their unjust authority, or they announce their plans for violence before acting. Conversely, the girls are, by and large, dishonest. They're quick to betray one another and regularly lie. Except for two similarly troubling examples, the women try to trick their prey, not hunt them outright. The evil woman doesn't trust men, and the good one has absolute faith in her male protectors. The most pointless mass murder event in the film is perpetrated by squabbling women. Meanwhile, their male counterparts successfully assemble enough MacGuffins to compromise the evil military's computers. I've argued here that the subplots rely on some bad ideas, but they're also weaker paced, less entertaining parts of the film. Without subversion, they're just plain not as interesting as the other parts. Considering the plot already relies on a larger than average class worth of middle school students, I get the sense that a more judicious writer could have built the framework for a more refined film. Shuya himself isn't much of a personality. He mostly gawks wide-eyed as he is pelted with the same horrific scenes of violence that the audience is. His most interesting quality is that he's not much of an agent in his own story. He's noble, focused, and easy to sympathize with, but he rarely directly influences his own progress towards his goals. Kitano is impatient, powerful, cruel, and unclear on what he wants. He has a surprising amount of leeway over the implementation of the Battle Royale game, but the deaths of his former students don't satisfy him. When given time to speak, he babbles about an earlier time in his life that he seems to have hated as much as he hates his life now. He is as cruel and confused as Shuya is good and intentional. What's more, Kitano takes his name from Takeshi Kitano, his actor, who portrays the character in a similar mellow as Sonatine's Yakuza, though this character is nearly entirely devoid of comedy. At first I found his total lack of humor, intensity, and engagement in the world around him boring. But his ability to suck the energy out of a room is actually fun to watch when he's surrounded by more than military extras. The interplay between Shuya's group and the sadistic society is truly gripping. The way the fascist, inhumane policies are delivered in early 2000s kawaii culture is really funny, and some of the character-driven student moments are compelling. Battle Royale is worth watching, but it doesn't entirely escape its class of exploitation films. I am glad I watched Battle Royale, but I don't see myself returning to it again soon. It is competently made and better than most pieces of exploitative genre fiction, though I believe 8 to 12 hour-long episodes would be a better format for its story. I give it a 3 out of 5.